why are these intellectual Ivy League students out there protesting? And if you talk to them, if you hear the interviews, they don't have, it doesn't seem like they have, that's why I'm asking, doesn't seem like they have any rudimentary understanding of the actual reality of the situation on the ground, of the history of that region of the world. And they're just believing these left-wing trite tropes that are put out there. These are supposed to be smart kids. Are these kids well thought out, these protesters, well thought out anti-Semites, or are they just ignorant adults being used as tools by the real anti-Semites?
Well, so I think the first point here is that the demographics of these universities have changed quite a bit, especially as the universities have tried to become more diverse. So more than ever, you have students at these universities who are from the Middle East, from other parts of the region, where they grew up around anti-Semitism and so forth. So I do think that they're bringing a lot of that baggage. But I think that the other point here you mentioned, they are in large part coming from the American left, from left-wing political traditions. And this has been a real shift that we've seen over the last few decades, is that Israel has gone from being a cause that was broadly sympathetic to people on the left to one that has really polarized the American left. And I think in particular among young people, the old pro-Israel left-wing currents that we're used to, I think, are really giving way to something more critical.
Yeah, and the more well, it's critical thinking that it's
Yeah.
giving away to, because, as we discussed with my prior guest, it seems like Jewish people are now being viewed as, since most of them are white, although many of them were Arab, in the historically, but the perception is Jews are more of that white supremacy class. Do you think that's part of this as well?
There's no question that I think that with this rise of identity politics and so forth, I think a lot of people view the Israel issue and also even the role that Jewish Americans play in the role as being, what's the term, white adjacent, right? Or part of the white power elite in
Yep.
this country. So I think that there is some of that. But I do think it's a larger issue for Israel itself to contend with, that I think that when Israel was founded in its early decades, it enjoyed this image of being an underdog, a group of people who were victimized in the Holocaust and so forth. Today, Israel is a strong, powerful country. And so I think that as Israel has really matured and become a secure democracy, it no longer benefits from
They're
that
no longer a
narrative as
victim,
being
right? They're no
victim.
longer a
Exactly.
victim,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Because I've commented before, it seems that in many parts of American culture, Jews still are the victims from the Holocaust. And so, and they have I mean, being anti-Jewish used to be a bad thing. You get called out for that big time. But I think you're right. I think they've lost I think as the Holocaust fades away, tragically, just like we can't ever let the sin of slavery fade away totally. We have to remember these problems. But I think you're right. With a stronger state of Israel, Jewish people are no longer seen as part of the victim class.